You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. The Empire Strikes Back. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. The Empire Strikes Back. You know what that means? Christopher Johnson may be investigated by the Yonkers Inspector General. That's crazy, is it not? Some people, even though they would like to see the Spanos investigated, are also wanting to see Christopher Johnson, Westchester County Legislator, investigated. Hello, folks. Good evening. I'm Freddie Vasquez. And now shots are being fired back. Remember, it was only 2 days ago Christopher Johnson stood on the steps of City Hall calling for an end to nepotism and corruption. Did he think that'd go unanswered? I'm sure he was expecting something. But was it this? I don't know. I'm learning about it myself as well. Let's go over it. I put the article up on Facebook. If you didn't see it on the page, it's in LoHUD. And they're discussing his residency. They're saying, does Christopher Johnson live in District 16, the district that he currently represents? And he is up for re-election. He is facing Shanae Williams in the primary this June. Shanae is jumping all over it. If I was Shanae, though, I'd kind of just be quiet, right? Because, I mean, you know, you really have the audacity to say anything. I mean, you know what you've been doing for the past week. How did your birthday go, by the way? I mean, I hear it that they had moved it actually over to Zupa's. I hope that wasn't because I blew the spot, Shanae. I know you wanted to have it there. I know it was you were hoping for it to be a sick event, but you know, you can't use taxpayer money to fund your birthday bashes. It's not how it works. So you take a seat for a second. Christopher Johnson, unbelievable, folks. This is what's going on, and I got to talk about it, right? And some will say, well, I'm being used by Christopher Johnson, according to some anonymous email. Also, I'm being used by George Latimer. Actually, I've never spoken to George or met George, but George, if you're using me, can I at least meet you? That'd be only the right thing to do, I think. Anyway, folks, this is a news break, but it's also in the LoHUD. I guess it's LoHUD Journal News. Yonkers Inspector General to investigate legislators' residence in affordable condo. Now, some are saying, Freddie, are they going to investigate Tasha Diaz too? Well, I don't know. Tasha Diaz did not purchase a $770,000 home. Christopher Johnson, fortunately, and possibly unfortunately, he did. And did he know what he was doing? Yonkers Inspector General Liam McLaughlin has launched an investigation into the declaration by County Legislator Chris Johnson that the condominium he owns on North Broadway through the Yonkers Affordable Housing Program was his primary residence. McLaughlin made his announcement Monday following revelations in a Tax Watch column that Johnson, Yonkers, Democrat of Yonkers, the majority leader of the Westchester County Board of Legislators, certified in May 2020 that his condominium at North Broadway was his primary address. So you can see that there anyway. That came just 10 days before he declared in mortgage documents that he would make his new home on Rose Hill Terrace his principal residence by mid-September. I need to take a look at this, said McLaughlin, the former Yonkers City Council president, named Inspector General in 2020 by Mayor Mike Spano. I need to look at his declaration and see what's going on there. right? He doesn't even give specifics. I just need to see what's going on there, right? You didn't give that much to the other investigation they asked you to investigate. But I guess to his defense, look, I'm defending Liam McLaughlin. To his defense, there was a specific allegation here, right? And there was also documents that had been sent over. So if you're gonna, make accusations or whatever, submit these type of complaints or ask for an investigation, make sure they're very detailed, right? His actions was welcomed by Yonkers City Councilwoman Shanae. Oh, of course, Shanae, all day, not in the mood. Williams, a Democrat Yonkers who has questioned Johnson's decision in 2022 to purchase a new home on Rose Hills Terrace, instead of congratulating a black man, another brother, for buying a home. Congratulations, brother. She's going to attack him. $770,000 outside of the 16th legislative district that he represents, which I wonder why he would do this, knowing that he's coming upon a re-election and that this would be used against him. Maybe he didn't know. Williams, who was endorsed over the incumbent by the Yonkers Democratic City Committee, is challenging him in a June 27th Democratic primary. June 27th. All you Democrats, come out and vote. If the majority leader violated any city agreement or stipulation on the affordable housing program that he is benefiting from, the public deserves to know about it, she said. Ain't that something? Ain't that how do you say that? The kettle calling the pot black or something, the pot calling I don't know. You know what I mean? There are so many people in Yonkers who would love to purchase an affordable home. And here we have a legislator who refuses to give other people the opportunity, knowing that he no longer needs the unit. Living in the affordable unit is Johnson's brother-in-law and his girlfriend, who moved into the apartment last year after he was released from jail. Ain't that something? They're really going on. He was released from jail. This guy has nothing to do with this, and they got to just put him on blast like that. Look, Shanae Williams, right? I like to know how much money, how did you get that money to your alleged boyfriend over there at the sick, film academy, right? The Glocks for Ox, where you spent all last week volunteering, preparing for your event space. Are we not entitled to know that? So when I go there, right, because these are allegations that I'm getting from people, because they know that I'm going to go and investigate, and I show up, and instead of being rude, you should, answer some questions, because as you say, the people should know, right? But instead you were rude, right? You were standoffish. You're a little snobbish, right? But look, Chris Johnson, I'm not sure why he would, put himself in this position knowing that he's got a re-election coming up. Yeah, I don't know. I think that he believes that he can have both residency, and that's what he says here. Johnson joined mayoral candidate Corazon Pineda Isaac on Sunday on the steps of Yonkers City Hall at an event billed as a rally against nepotism and corruption in city government. Johnson said that he slept on the couch. Damn. You could tell this was made to attack him. Johnson said that he slept on the couch at 421 North Broadway from time to time. So he crashed there from time to time. I don't know. Guess maybe. I reside at both locations, he said. Johnson and his wife, Ty, whose family income for public employment totals about $300,000. So you know that this is definitely the empire striking back, right? They're even giving the public employment totals. The fact that the brother-in-law was in jail, that's crazy. The wife, they bought about $300,000 they made together. So they bought a 3-story home with a fenced-in backyard in July of 2022. Johnson said he put his name on the mortgage documents and deed so she could afford it. He used this opportunity to help my wife purchase a house, he said, which, if it's your wife, wouldn't you purchase it together? I don't know, right? I guess maybe you should keep things separate, because one of the mistakes I've done, I'll tell you, as a married man is, you open up a joint account and then the wives, they just right? They feel like that's, I don't know, like petty cash, That happened to me. McLaughlin's probe is the latest inquiry into Johnson's dual residency and how it impacts his representation of the 16th legislative district and ownership of the affordable condominium. County legislator last week opened discussions with County Attorney John Nona over Johnson's home purchase on Rose Hill Terrace, which lies outside of Johnson's legislative district. The county charter says a legislator must reside in the district he represents. Johnson maintains the charter allows a legislator to have multiple residents as long as one of them is in the district. Johnson was 26 years old in 2010 when he bought the affordable apartment. Oh, I was wrong. He purchased it through a program set up by the city's Fair Housing Implementation Office, which was established during the city's federal desegregation lawsuit that dates back to 1980. The office oversees a pool of about 425 resident-owned housing units and 315 rental apartments. So what Shanae's saying there is that, these apartments, these condominiums can only be sold to someone who qualifies for, affordable housing, right? And so if he's holding on to it because he's also living outside his district, right? It's not fair. He's keeping other people from, getting this apartment who are looking for affordable housing. And he's also not living in his district, right? So that's what she's trying to attack him on. What do you think? What do you think about this? Look, she goes, if Johnson were to sell his unit, the pool of purchases would be limited to those with an annual income of about $40,000. So, they're saying like he's holding this apartment. He's keeping other people who would love to purchase an apartment, a condominium, who only make, about $40,000 or qualify. I don't even know what the income really is for this low income program, affordable housing program. It should be fair. Like, give it up. You bought this house, but you're trying to keep both because you want to still live in the district so you can still run for office, right? And Shanae's going at it, right? So Shanae is going all in. But if I was Johnson, I would be like, well, Shanae, let's take a look at what you were doing over there, Vanderdock Street over there. How did homie get the money so quick and all this, renovations, and how many cars did you crash, and how many, how much money you've caused the city with that stuff, I'm just saying, and I don't see Chris Johnson really going at Shanae. Is he concerned with something? I don't know. He made some subtle comments on the steps of City Hall on Sunday, in reference to a scheduler that replaced him when he moved up to the county. And he was referring obviously to Shanae Williams, someone who's been with the mayor for a long time now. She was I believe up in Albany interning with Mayor Mike Spano. Was it Spano? Yeah. And then she came down here with them. She was appointed to take over Chris Johnson's seat when he won for legislator. And she's been there ever since. She's been supported by the Empire, right? And she's, kind of coasted her way through these elections here, had it pretty easy. And she doesn't do a whole lot. But people say, Freddie, and I got to be fair. People say, Freddie, what about Christopher Johnson? Because I was going to a store the other day on Main Street and I saw this woman, 37 years old. I started to talk to her. I don't know, maybe God said, I don't know why I just got it, but she was in such bad shape and she was, on drugs. And I just started talking to her and, just trying to give her some, let her know about my sister, how she passed away from an overdose and she was 10 years younger than she was. And, and I see this throughout the downtown area. It's really getting bad. And so I'm speaking to people about this and they say, well, that's Christopher Johnson. That's a county thing. What is he doing? The homeless, right? And so Shanae Williams, if you want to really be a true, taken seriously, I say that, be taken seriously and show that you are, you should be speaking on these things, because when it comes to homelessness and the drug addiction and the panhandling, if that is a county, and I believe they say that all the time, is a county issue, then what is Christopher Johnson doing about that, right? And maybe he should touch on that, right? And because people have those questions, they have those, what are you doing about that, right? It's only fair if I say, hey, Shanae, what are you doing, about anything, right? It's only fair that I also say, Christopher Johnson, what are you doing about the homeless situation? And he has, and he has explained some things that he's done or they've done at the county, like push for that new shelter to open up on Kashmir, which is, I guess not as big as the sharing community was, but it was supposed to replace the sharing community. He blamed the city for dragging their feet on permits and all this other stuff that they had to agree on. And then they finally got it open. So he said, that's something that we did, right? And, but, we see the problem just getting worse, right? You should have seen this 37-year-old woman in the condition that she was, standing right there in front of these luxury developments that they're putting up. Doesn't make sense to me. And I think that the New York City people are used to that, right? They're used to coming out of these, luxury, expensive apartments in the city and as soon as they come out the door, they take a few steps. There goes a guy who's homeless, right? Who hasn't taken a shower in, probably a couple years, asking them for change. And they have no problem walking right by that. But I get like, wow, like she was such in bad shape, and it's all throughout that downtown area. So what is the county doing, right? And not just Chris Johnson, but everyone at the county. What are you guys doing besides paying that individual who has a conviction for a sex offense against a child to promote yourselves? Now, that's hypocritical. I'm just saying. You guys forced Catherine Borgia, is am I saying their name right, to resign over the aide who was caught soliciting a minor for sex. But what about the guy that was convicted of, forcing himself on a girl? He touched and kissed her, forced himself on her. She ran home crying. She was on the stand crying. What about her, guys, at the county? David Tubiolo, who recently paid for an ad. James Nolan, who recently had some ads. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to be fair. We got to be fair, right? You guys are going to say this. I got to think, and I also have to be fair. Chris Johnson, I got to bring that out. What is going on with the homeless and the drug addiction out here? Is getting bad. What is the county doing? And you are for re-election. They're going to target that. They're going to say, what has Chris Johnson been doing? It's among, the fact that his residency is in question, which this, could be nothing really. It could just be something that they're throwing out there just to kind of put some, create some negative stuff. But the real thing is what's going on with the homeless? What's going on with the, the drug addiction that we see in the city, in the downtown area? That's important. That's what I want to hear about Christopher Johnson. And I don't really have faith that Shanae Williams is going to do much. So it's not like I'm like, you know what? Maybe I won't vote for Chris Johnson because of it, and I'll vote for Shanae. But I don't have much faith that Shanae will actually do much better when it comes to that. In fact, I think she'll do a lot less. I think it'll get worse, just in my opinion. I don't think she cares at all. Just my opinion. Anyway, folks, another person that's residency may be in question is Corazon Pineda Isaac, right? The mayoral candidate who is going to be going up against Mike Spano. And I don't want to leave out Margaret Coleman, right? I don't mention her, but I don't hear anything from you, Margaret. I've asked you to come on my show. Like I said, come on, contact me. Come on. I don't hear anything. No one hears anything from Margaret Coleman's camp at all. So it's almost like I forget that she's even in the race, right? So that's why I don't, hear me mention it, but it's not like I'm against her or anything like that. I just don't hear anything. I mean, I saw a video someone sent me of people standing with, a sign up at Ashburn. I do see some Margaret Coleman, posters here and there, but I don't hear anything from Margaret Coleman. I don't hear nothing. Like, I mean, if I were on the ballot, I would be going through all the districts. You would know Freddie Vasquez is coming to District 1, coming to District 2, coming to District 3, and we'd be talking. I'd be wanting to know what you guys have to say so that when I win, I know what I have to do, among other things, right? So why are they not out there? It's just, I don't get it. This is what sometimes, like, I don't know. Do they truly want to win? This is why I question this. I like to win. So when I go at something, I go, right? Do you guys want to win? Do you guys want to win? But, Corazon, they're going to come after her because they see her as more of the threat. They don't really see Margaret Coleman as a threat. In fact, they didn't, concern themselves too much with getting Margaret Coleman off the ballot. They knew that Corazon was going to make the ballot, and they figure we allow Margaret Coleman to stay on. Then she has split the vote. And so then that also makes one wonder, is Margaret Coleman in it to help the mayor? I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. But if you came on the show, we can clear it up. I would love to know, Margaret Coleman. politicwithfred@gmail.com. You can reach out to me easily. You got my phone number also. Let's talk. I mean, I've been asking and hoping, and usually when people don't come on, it's not usually, they usually don't want to come on for a reason that's not good, right? So, and I don't think that's you, Reverend Coleman. I'm just saying, I would love to talk to you. People have questions. They're wondering where you at, but they're going to go after Corazon. They see her as the big threat. And they're going to question her residency. What has her Easy Pass been saying? Where has she been going after hours? Has she been in Yonkers? She does have a family outside of the city of Yonkers. Her husband also, who's not from Yonkers, or I don't, Corazon's not from Yonkers either, but she's been living here for a while. Has a lot of family outside of Yonkers. That's what they're saying. Will they show some kind of Easy Pass, report showing that Corazon is leaving Yonkers every day? And if they do, what do you have to say about that? How do you feel? Would that impact how you vote? And here's the thing I've been saying, a lot of people who don't want to vote for Spano, they're saying, I don't want no more years, but I can't vote for Corazon. Are they going to vote for Margaret Coleman? They don't say that. So maybe they won't vote. I don't know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you one of those people that says, I don't want to vote for Spano, but I don't want to vote for Corazon Pineda either? I want to hear from Margaret Coleman supporters. I would love to hear from Corazon supporters. Obviously, I hear a lot from the Spano supporters, right? So I want to know, so what do you guys think? But that's what I hear. They're going to question her residency as well, possibly. They may have some Easy Pass stuff coming up. I don't know anything else. What time is it? Yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to talk about that. The Empire Strikes Back. They're coming out with, they're hitting, Chris Johnson, Corazon Pineda Isaac has had those articles come out, the nepotism article, very recently, the Empire Strategic Planning article in the New York Post. So now here we have the Inspector General, Liam McLaughlin, and going to investigate Chris Johnson on his residency. That's crazy. That's just, insane, because, he called the nepotism claims and the investigation into that political silly season accusations, right? And so something to that effect. Basically just dismissing it right away. But this, he's going to look into. But again, is it because they gave detailed information, they've provided some documents, whereas those who called for the investigation into nepotism and corruption just made general statements? They didn't give any detailed, crimes that were being committed. Is that why? I don't know. So if you guys want to, submit your request over, just make sure you're very detailed and show any supporting documents. That would be very helpful. So I just want to be fair. A lot more stuff is going to come out on Chris Johnson. I believe that. What happened to the fat guy that was in the race? Oh, that's not nice. Are you talking about Prince Robinson? I don't know what he's doing. Listen, folks, I'm going to just be honest, okay? And so that way you can understand the situation fully, right? How do I say this without insulting anyone? Prince, is, Prince doesn't operate, Prince, Prince is Prince. You know what I mean? He's Prince, not the singer Prince Robinson. And, I don't know how, do people get that? Do they understand that? You got to kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, he may have had an IEP, when he was in school. And I'm not trying to, again, I don't know how to say it. And the point I'm trying to make is that, there's individuals that I think people don't get that. And maybe I know because I'm familiar and working with, individuals who have had special needs, and stuff like that, so have needed IEPs, have had IEPs, right? So I can identify, because, people who are maybe autistic or may have like Asperger, sometimes you may not be able to identify that, because again, it doesn't mean that that individual is just, going to, like it's obviously going to have some kind of, there are individuals who have, who are autistic, and you wouldn't really know, they operate, they have functioning, they say this the spectrum, and very intelligent, at times they have, a lot of times they'll have this unique, like this focus that they're just into, and they know all about that stuff. And, I work with the kid, Sam. He was, he was 19 years old. He's still a kid. And he knew all of the baseball fields, every single baseball field, stadium all across the country. And, his parents were great. And one of the things they were doing is they were going to visit every as many as they could. They were taking Sam to every, to see a game in every stadium throughout the country, right? And he was just, he loved baseball, and he had this knowledge about baseball that just, you put him in a game show about it, forget it. Like the guy who went, 10 days in a row, 11, 2 weeks in a row, like Ken Jenkins, that guy, right? But so and they have great sense of humors, and they're amazing, and so you may not realize it, but I can identify this, and so there still are some limitations, obviously, and so I think people need to understand that maybe with Prince, and others. I'm not gonna say any too many. I'm just saying, and what's sad is that when I first got into politics, I recognized that, and I saw that. I don't know if they were intentionally using them, and because they knew, or they just maybe didn't know, and they were, because they'll do whatever, right? They'll do whatever for these individuals. They'll look up to, like, he looks up to Ruros a lot. He does, and it kind of concerns me. I'm just saying, he look, and he may have be doing things sometimes that he shouldn't be doing, and I know that it's him. And I said that you got to not do that stuff. I've videotaped these guys doing certain things that they shouldn't be doing. And again, like I said, like a friend of mine said, Fred, you got to keep some things in your back pocket, and I know this, right? And keep it in my back pocket like my wallet, you know what I mean? And so everything is not for Facebook, right? Everything's going to be for if it gets to a certain point or whatever. But I see that what these guys do, and it's sad, and because I don't know if people see this, they don't see it. I mean, the kid one time walked onto I-87, like literally just walked onto I-87, like he was leading a walk, a march for some, I forgot what it was, and he decided we started on McLean over there in Central Avenue, and we walked north on Central Avenue, and when he got to, there was a off ramp where you come off, he started walking. That's where everybody stopped following him, right? At that point, people stopped. He just walked right in, and the police, went out there, and they had to, get the police car, turn the lights on to divert traffic. And I said, yo, this dude just, I mean, just walked into, he literally, he did. He walked into traffic, and so I was like, I'm not definitely following you there. And so, we have to understand that, like, there's a lot of things in the city of Yonkers that's not kosher, and we got to start realizing this stuff, folks. And I guess that comes with being more involved, you know what I mean? And so, and these are the individuals, there's a lot of people that really look up to these people. Like, they want to be a part of this group. Like, they want to be, and a lot of people come from nothing, right? Like Tasha Diaz, and there's not no disrespect, because I come from nothing, you know what I'm saying? I do. So it's just that, but and they see this great white hope, right? And to be funny, but they see these individuals as their savior, and they'll do whatever for them, right? It's like, it's like Stockholm syndrome almost, and they'll just do whatever, and they'll do things that are detrimental to themselves. They may not be realizing it, and but that's who they take advantage of. These are the people that get manipulated, right? And so, when I think of these fake pages that have been created and stuff like that, I wonder, these individuals will do anything for them, and I was even told by somebody, you gotta be careful, one of them might want to hurt you to get brownie points, and they're telling me that guy that came to your door, he was maybe looking for some brownie points, to say, hey, look what I did. I went to Freddie Vasquez and I knocked on his door, look at me, I'm so cool, but that's not cool. I mean, the guy is a convicted felon. That's been, verified, right? And for assault. So what kind of assault was that? Because it's a felony, and then so you're knocking on my door. And so to the people who were saying, oh, well, you did this, excuse me, I had a fucking felon knocking on my door for no damn reason, acting very suspicious. Okay. Guy that assaulted people before, right? What do you think? I got my family here. What will you do? Right? What will you do? Like, and so these are the people that I'm talking about. Like, they're just so like want to be a part of this. Like, have an independent mind, be an independent individual. I have no problem. When I used to hang out with those guys, tell them how I felt. I don't kiss ass. I don't agree with you just to be a part of you and all that stuff. I don't do that. It's not who I am. And, listen, if I'm not down with you guys, I'm not down with you guys. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm down with myself. I'm down with my wife and my kids. You know what I mean? And that's it. And so, but these individuals will do that. And so you guys turn, like a John Rivera, not to bring these guys up, you know what I'm saying? And like what's his name? The freaking his name from the Inside Yonkers thing. Anderson guy, right? I mean, come on, like listen to them. I mean, come on, right? And so they'll use these people, right? So they'll get them, say, hey, Freddie Vasquez. And so then these individuals are the ones that do the dirty work, and these individuals ultimately will get the brunt of whatever consequences will come, and they have no clue. They have no clue. Why the hell do you allow him to proceed? Why? Well, why did you allow him to proceed? What do you mean? Why did you allow who to proceed? I don't know what you mean by that. Into the traffic? That wasn't my responsibility to stop him. Am I going to go into traffic and stop him? We go. It doesn't make sense. Both of us getting killed, right? It wasn't my idea, So anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm up out of here. If that's what you mean, why would I allow him to proceed? I didn't allow nobody to do nothing. I'm not responsible for anyone. Listen, and that's not. I'm not going to chase anyone into I-87. That's for sure. There were police officers there. They get paid a lot of money to do that, right? To save people, right? That's what we talk about. We got to pay them whatever. They got a job. Well, was it my job? Where's his mom at? Where's Ruro's at? That's his job. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm up out of here. What do you think about Chris Johnson? Will you be voting for Chris Johnson if you're in District 16? Do you think this is going to hurt him? What do you think, folks? Listen, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Shanae. I just not a big fan of Shanae. I don't like your attitude, Shanae. I don't like your attitude, man. It's kind of stank. You know what I mean? But I could get with. I go back and forth with you all day. Trust me. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I don't like your attitude. I don't like the way you approach me with that. When are you doing it? You gotta earn it, girl. You earn it. Tell me, you don't earn it. They handed it to you.
Freddie.
What's her name? The Republican. What's the other girl's name? Who else is running for county legislator? Is it just between her and Chris Johnson?
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Folks, thank you. I appreciate you for joining, supporting. Keep sending me the information. politicwithfred@gmail.com. By the way, listen, I got a friend request from someone, and I'm going to just put it out there, right? And remember, I put that picture up, right? And I said, did anybody know this guy? And so, people told me who it was. And then I realized that this is an individual who has some kind of issue with my wife, at a job. And so I'm like, why is this guy trying to friend me? And look, I don't know if it was him, because this is what they do. They've made fake pages and they've used people's pictures. They were using a fake page with a man who had died, who worked for the city of Yonkers at one point, but had since been dead. And they're attacking me with this page, with this guy's picture, and this family, the guy, his family. So I don't know if they took this guy because they know what's going on. And so maybe they're trying to set it up. I don't know what's going on, but we document everything. So, we don't play those games. My wife documents everything. I document everything. I told my wife how to do that in the event that we hear, right? And so everything's been documented. I think that the stuff that we have, it says a lot. I mean, it says a lot. I mean, and this is, again, going back to people, who will do anything for these individuals, like just to be on their good side. I mean, you're going to ruin yourselves, make yourselves out to be liars for what? Who's telling you to do this, right? I mean, I don't want to get too much details. I don't want my wife having issues because she's not telling me to do this. I do this because that's my wife and I want to defend her. What's right is right. And she doesn't Freddie, please do it. I'm sorry, babe, I love you, but what's right is right. And we're good because we are right. And we can prove that we're right. Right. But she just doesn't like to, but I want to let it be known because it's not okay. That's not okay. To do things like that to people, to potentially harm their livelihood, just because, you want to lie for, certain individuals or whatever, that's going to come back to bite you, especially when you're dealing with Freddie Vasquez, because I document everything, and this is just in general. I document everything, especially with certain individuals and in certain situations where I know that, could potentially, you would potentially need to be documenting it, right? And so we do that, and there's things that, people have said and, things people have done that just is mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. People will flat out lie. you know. And so you're gonna, make yourselves out to look like liars to everybody. That's it. I mean, that's what you want to do. Continue to lie, because I document everything, just like with that gentleman from that other page, right? When he told me what he told me, he's denied it. Not anymore. He says he can't remember now because I have him recorded. He can't deny it. And when we end up in court, he's going to perjure himself if he denies it. And he knows that. And so I'm not going to play that audio. I'm not going to play every audio I have, because that'll be for the courts. I know what you guys do. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. And it's incredible, what the issue was. I mean, it's mind-blowing what they may try to make an issue out of it. Meanwhile, I'm hearing from sources, parents, about teachers in Saunders being sexually inappropriate with students, calling students racist, selfish, snatching things from areas where they, like their private parts are, like their chest, getting a little handsy. One teacher even allowed students into his phone, giving them his password. And what did they see? Dick pics. That's right. Dick pics. Excuse my French. So these students saw their teacher's penis. And what's been done about it? What's going on in our schools? What's going on among these administrators? How many have we seen get fired? And even recently, right? Recently, for inappropriate or sexual misconduct with students. Are we vetting people who are being hired? Because it seems like we target the great people while allowing the horrible ones to continue to work. That doesn't make sense. Do you think this teacher should be fired? I mean, why would you give students your phone and give them access to it by giving them your password when you have dick pics in your phone? Did he want them to see it? And so think about what you guys are focusing on. Think about what Freddie Vasquez knows. I know a lot. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Talk to that teacher. He's probably grooming these kids. You got to be careful. This is the true story, folks. And it's going to be coming out. And it's going to be bubbling. You'll hear it soon. Take care. Have a beautiful night. Enjoy your weekend. Oh, your rest of your week is Wednesday. But yeah, it's crazy. It's up at Saunders. Dude with the dick pics at Saunders. Got you. I got you. I'm out of here. And I know more. I know a lot more. A lot more. Things that will really, truly be huge. Huge deals. And then you want to really pick on that? You sure? I was told once to pick my battles wisely.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
You won't always be protected. And I'm not scared of what you think the consequences could be for me or my family.
Freddie wins.
Are you scared of the consequences
Fatality.
that will come from what Freddie Vasquez will show the world?
Freddie wins.
That's what you need to think about tonight as you lay in bed. Have a beautiful night.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
No!